What's going on, YouTube? Claic Result back again with another Final Fantasy Brave Exvius banner review. This is more of a unit review in a way. Guys, it's been a while since we've been here with an actual numbered Final Fantasy to go over, so you guys should be excited. I hope anybody who loved Final Fantasy VI gets everything you can out of this, this banner and this event. You guys have a lot of fun. I do want to state that I will not be going over Kefka or Terra's 6 stars on this banner, as I will have another video specifically for them. And you guys can see this is a little bit different. I kind of took my unit spotlights, mixed in a little bit of the banner review, put them together. We do have a Trance Terra, what am I trying to say here? Equipment, overview, some examples you guys can go with Trance Terra at the end of the video. And I don't cover Gal too much, but we do talk about him a bit, so let's get into it. The first unit on this banner we're going to talk about is Gal. He's a 3-star base going up to 5-star, and he's a physical damage dealing unit. Let's talk about his Trust Mastery real quick. It's an ability, it's a materia that you put on, and it gives you Rage Meteor. Now what that is an AoE physical damage ability with a 2.5 times with Ignore Defense, 25%, and what the Ignore Defense does, again, is a flat multiplier increase of 1.33. So I think it ends up being, what, is that 3.83? Something like that as a multiplier. So it's pretty strong. However, again, working in the world of, materias and TMs, it's just not going to stack up to the other attack percents up or the, dual wield, blade mastery, things like that. So I'm going to give it low to mid tier. But if you find yourself wanting it from a 3-star base, go ahead. It can help some units out. Let's talk about his limit burst. I think it's called Ferrari. It does 2.7 times physical damage to one unit, so it's a very boring, lackluster limit burst in my opinion. It does do just single target physical damage, so not the best, nothing to, write home about. Again, we'll talk about him in a minute here. I don't really go too much into his abilities. He does have an ability which is Leap. It has like percentages to unlock other abilities, and all of them are kind of really bad, so we're not really going to go too much into him. But we're just going to say he has 5-star restrictions, and even he doesn't really bring much to your squad to make him stand out at being 5-star. So the rank is going to be 3 out of 10 on global, and then Japan's got him at 65 out of 100. And then honestly, I really wish this character was Beast Boy from Teen Titans. It makes me think of Beast Boy when I see him. Beast Boy I think would be really cool. Where's our Teen Titans collab, guys? Next up on the banner is a 4-star base and go up to a 6-star, and that's Setzer, our silver-haired man, our womanizer. The Trust Mastery on Setzer is Fixed Dice. It is a two-handed throwing weapon, but you have to two-hand it. You cannot dual wield with it, and double hand does not go with it, so that's what's going to make it a little bit weird here. It gives you +1 attack, so it doesn't even give you an attack stat, so you're not going to be able to throw anything else in his hand, but this weapon, or whoever's equipping it, is this weapon that gives you +1 attack. But the catch is, it adds 1.2 times up to 6.5 times to your attack. So it adds those multipliers to your attacks that you do. So you're missing out on the attack, the weapon, and the elementalness of a weapon you may have, but you get this added to it, so like it might be cool to mess around with. I do know that like it definitely is lackluster when you're talking about elemental chaining or things like that, which is a lot of what this game is about, but it can add a lot of attack power to it. So overall, I'm going to give this a mid-tier to high-tier review. It's a very, very I don't know, it's very dependent on what the situation is, if the damage is better to have this or dual wielding, but in the end, for me, it's always better to dual wield because you get, like, things like Noxus's Fire Flask, or you get the, get to do the physical damage thing twice, and that allows you to get the effects of the physical damage thing happening twice, too. So, in the end, I think Fixed Dice is a medium, could be up to high tier depending on the attack variations and how much the math works out to be, okay, guys? We'll talk about his limit burst. It's called Diving Bomb. Physical AoE damage to all, and then it's a 2.7 times multiplier with Ignore Defense of 50%, which adds 2 to it, so it's a 4.7 times multiplier at level 1 6-star, okay, guys? So that's pretty good. I mean, if you need to do AoE and you need to do 3.7 times damage, you can just pop that bad boy. Overall, though, kind of boring since it's only physical damage, but that's how it's going to be. Let's talk about Setzer's support abilities and Masidian Rabbit. He does an AoE heal, and it's an alright heal. Then he also cures Blind Sleep and Poison to all, so he's going to heal everybody up and get rid of Blind Sleep and Poison. Now, you're probably going to have somebody on your team that can heal a lot more than him, and you're probably going to have somebody on your team that can do, like, Mass Asuna, or at least Asuna. But, in the end, as long as he's bringing this to your team, and it's always a plus when somebody can have that, somebody that can do something better for you and help you out. Let's talk about the passives that are on Setzer. That's going to be Chivalry, and it's a 5% chance to save all the waifus. That's right, he has a 5% chance to jump in front of somebody and then protect the female character from damage and mitigate some of that damage. So, it's okay. I think it's cool. It goes with the character's character Setzer. At a 5% chance, it's kind of whatever. It's probably, it's almost never going to happen, but I think it's just cool that they have it there. His other passive is Quick Gamble. It's going to give him throwing weapon mastery, plus 50% attack when equipping a throwing weapon. So, in most cases, if you're going for a really high attack build Setzer, you're going to want to go with the throwing weapon, but we'll learn here in a little bit that his big damage ability move that we're probably going to be using more often than not is a fixed damage. So this may be a case where you won't even be putting a throwing weapon on him. You may be wanting to put other elemental weapons on him or things like that. And the Quick Gamble also gives him 10% chance to evade physical attacks. So overall, a very good passive. We're going to look at his attack abilities here, and we're going to have to go into great detail on some of them. And you can see at the bottom we have Gamble Fail. Gamble Fail is more of a support ability in my opinion, and I accidentally put it in the attack abilities, but what can you do? It has a 25% chance to break attack, defense, magic, or spirit. So 25% of the time it's going to break magic, 25% of the time it's going to break attack, 25 spirit, 25 defense. And it's going to break it by 40% for 3 turns. So it's a gamble. Obviously, Setzer's a gambling character if you haven't gotten that theme from him yet. He's throwing dice and everything like that. So it's pretty cool that you have a chance to be breaking, and it just adds to the character. If you need a break to happen, you can cross your fingers if it's a specific break and just throw the dice and hope to God you hit it with Gamble Fail. His next attack is Red Card. Single target physical damage 3.2 times with a 10 hit. So it's going to hit 10 times. This is his ability that is used to chain with him, okay? And they're very, very quick hits, okay? He's very good with this Red Card ability. It does have a high physical damage multiplier on it. It's pretty high to average to high. And overall, this is what he's used for if you're chaining with him. But I think in the end, there's another thing people are looking at him to use, and I was just made aware of this. It's Double Dice. What Double Dice does is AoE fixed physical damage. And what fixed physical damage means is that no matter what the defense is on the character, or on the enemy that you're attacking, it's going to do this amount. And if you look below, it's 11, 111, 55, or 5,550. God, if I can say these numbers right, 5,555 or 55,555, but if you hit the jackpot, it's 77,777. And that's fixed damage. Guys, that is before taking in the fact of, you know, chaining. So this is a finisher move. This is one of his bigger, you know, perks of him, is that he's going to hit that and it's going to be massive if he hits at the end of a chain. I do believe killer abilities do apply to this, making it even bigger damage. Something I want to point out, guys, is there is a video circulating around. It's been out for a while and I was just made aware of it. I'll link it in the comments below. It's of a Japanese player taking 2 Edgars and a Setzer, the 2 Edgars having chainsaw, using chainsaws to build up the, you know, stack up the chaining, you know, numbers, and then hitting them with a double dice, hitting that big number, and literally one-shotting both of them. That's 3 characters. That's 2 3-star bases in Edgar, and then getting Setzer there with the fixed dice. That's a 4-star base, one-shotting both Espers at the same time. It's actually insane. You guys should check it out. Now, the downside to this being is that you could throw that dice and hit an 11. Or you can hit, like, you know, you're gonna have to run it multiple times. So if you're into that, you want to cheese a boss, you want to kill him in one shot, you want to look awesome, it might take some time because you might get bad number variations, because it's 20% for each of these to happen. So it's gonna be 20% for you to hit the jackpot and hit that big damage. So that's it for his attack abilities. He has other ones, but those are the ones I'm gonna cover in this guide right here. Those are his most important ones. And then without further ado, let's talk about his rankings. He gets an 8 out of 10 on global for me. Very, very good character. Brings chaining to the to your team. He brings that double dice with that fixed damage, a little bit of Gambler's Hope, a little bit of a finisher there for you. Very strong. And then on top of that, in Japan, I think they gave him a 93 out of 100, which is pretty damn high for Setzer. And for me, he's a gambler cheater's wet dream. What do you mean? I mean, you want to gamble, you want to throw something, you want to do massive damage, you want to cheese a boss down, Setzer's the man for you. And finally, we're going to be talking about our 5-star base and our beautiful Trance Terra. Again, 5-star base going up to 6-star mage. And I think she's going to be the best mage in global for now, guys, going forward. Trust Mastery and Soul of Thamasa. It's going to be a better, way better dual cast than we've had in the past. It is an accessory and opening up some materia slots for our supports. And it also gives us plus 30% MP. And for the most part, the problem with this accessory is there are going to be a lot of support characters or, you know, damage-dealing black mages out there that already have dual cast, or at least a version of it in, like, black magic dual cast. And this accessory might sit around for a bit. But don't get me wrong, it's way better than dual cast by a far in margin. And when you find a supporter that needs it, it's going to be amazing for you. It's going to get a high-end tier for me. Very, very nice one. And let's talk about the limit burst on Trance Terra. It's going to be Riot Blade Trance. Magic damage to all enemies. A 2.7 with ignore defense 50% SPR, which means it's going to go up to a 4.7 times multiplier. Very, very good for you. Very strong AoE. magic damage, limit burst. It's going to be very good for you if you need to use it in the future, okay? Let's talk about Trance Terra's, you know, passives, attacks, and support abilities that make her so strong. First off, on her passive abilities, it's dual black magic cast. You're going to be able to cast black magic twice. So, although it's not dual cast, you still get to go along and do your black magic twice, and you'll see that's going to be really good on her. Moving on, she gets Guardian Mog. It's going to cure all status elements after battle. So, you know, you're out in an exploration, half your team gets poisoned and blinded from something. When that battle ends, boom, it's all gone if you have Trance Terra on your team. I think it's a very useful passive, and, you know, sometimes I wish it was on some of my other party members, so I'm glad she ended up getting it. And then she gets Omen. It's a 30% chance to evade physical damage. So she has a little bit of evade on her, a little bit of ways to get around things if she needs to be, and that's always a plus there. She also gets MP recovery, you know, the 5% at the end of each turn. A lot of 5-star bases have it, and it's great for her to have it because she's a mage, going to be casting a lot of things, maybe dual black magic casting a lot of things. It's going to be good for her. Let's go over the support abilities of Trance Terra. She gets Full Life, which to me is insane, but Full Life, just like Refia, is going to revive a KO'd ally to 100% HP. That is amazing. She can't dual cast it unless you put a dual cast TM on her, remember, as, excuse me for hitting the mic, as she has a dual black magic cast and not dual cast, so be sure to remember that. She has Manduin Guard, increase your all allies fire, lightning, and ice resist by 40% for 3 turns. So this is going to be like a green magic cast, where if you're fighting something that does fire, lightning, or ice damage, she's going to be there to be able to boost that up for you, along with being able to do massive black magic damage, and full lifing some characters. I mean, she's got a lot of stuff going for her. And finally, one of her most important support abilities, it's support for herself, is magical activation. She's going to boost her magic and spirit by 80%, which is a hell of a lot. And then it's not only doing that, and that could be enough on its own. 80% is a shit ton. It's going to enable a stronger Chaos Wave, and Chaos Wave is going to be her best attack ability, so let's get into that. So you're going to cast Magical Activation, and it's going to make Chaos Wave better. So what is Chaos Wave? It's an attack ability. It's going to do AoE magic damage, 3.8 times multiplier with 5 hits. So that's right, it's a chaining magic ability. So on top of the fact that, you know, mages, you know, some of the times we talk about mages, they're not the best, they can't chain very well. Well, at least Chaos Wave is going to give us a chance to chain with Trance Terra. Only problem with that is we can't slap an element on it, because when you do magic, it doesn't take your weapon's element into effect, so there's no elemental chaining with her. But it's still pretty cool that you can chain with it and maybe get higher chains. And then if you've activated Magical Activation, Chaos Wave is going to cost you 0 MP. That's right, no MP if you boost up your magic and spirit by 80% the turn before. And it's also going to do 5.6 times multiplier with 10 hits. So it like doubles in value there. You're hitting 10 times. Your multiplier went up to 5.6 times. Chaos Wave is amazing. It's going to be your go-to move a lot of the time with Trance Terra. And you're going to want to pop Magical Activation, so Chaos Wave is a little bit stronger the next time you use it. Let's talk about the next ability in Ultima. Everybody likes Ultima. It's very, very strong. AoE magic damage, 4.13 times multiplier when you take in the Ignore Spirit into effect. You can dual black magic cast this bad boy and just blow people up. So if you're not casting Chaos Wave, you can do Ultima if you want to and cast it twice. And then she has elemental magic and fire, ice, and lightning damage. It's going to be AoE 1 times multiplier, so she does cover those other elements if you would need her to. Let's talk about something I normally don't do in banner reviews, but I'm kind of making this a little bit different if you haven't already seen, and we're going to meld them together. I am going to do an equipment examples here today, and let's talk about the free-to-play. If you want to build Trance Terra the best you can free-to-play. And I'm going to give you this example build. If you don't have some of these items, because a lot of them come from events, just take your best weapon you can that has the best magic stats, or your best shield that you can put on her, things like that. Work around the box, do a little research, and you can get there, alright? But this is just an example to help you guys get on the right track. You're going to want to put Lilith Rod on her. That's an event stat. Or rod, excuse me. You're going to want to put Stellar Shield, another event item, but it's a shield that gives you magic, and we want to put a lot of magic on our Trance Terra. Creepy Mask that came from Halloween. I've already been hearing people kicking themselves in the ass for not getting the Creepy Mask. It was an amazing item, and it's still amazing to this day. We want to use the Magi Robe from the Coliseum, so everybody out there should be able to get that if you've been beating your Coliseum. And then you want to put double earrings on for max magic, and you get those from the Fat Chocobo for the price of, I think, 50 star quartz, okay, guys? And we move on to materia here, or abilities. We just want to slap as much mag up as we can on her for the free-to-play build. So that means if you have magic 15%, magic 5%, 10%, whatever you have, that's what you want to put on. Some of them are from events, some of them may be craftable, things like that. So that's why I have that there. That's for you to decide on your own to see what you have in your box. Now we're going to go to the pay-to-play build and a little bit more of a TM build. The first thing you want to put on is Mateus's what is it called? Mateus's Malice. I was about to say Mateus's Vengeance. Whatever. Mateus's Malice, which is the Emperor's TM, the Emperor's Rod. That's going to be the highest rod that we can get in the game. That's why we want to put it on her. And then we have a Freya's Needle. And I know that's going to be a little weird for you guys. We just got Freya. We got our TM really easily if you guys got her from the Trust Moogles. And we're actually going to slap it on Trance Terra. Yes, she can equip swords. And there's a reason for that. And we'll talk about that going down here. We want Creepy Mask. Again, as we can see, Creepy Mask is amazing. It's what you guys want on your units if they're magic dealers. We have Rainbow Robe, which gives the most magic, and then it gives a bunch of resistances, which makes it amazing. That comes from the Marie TM, guys. You want Genji Glove on our Trance Terra here. The reason being is we want to be able to equip those 2 weapons I just talked about, and that's going to help you with that. And then we want Magistral Crest from the Vanille TM for maximum amounts of magic. And then we look at the materia here, and Dingus has returned with a vengeance. That's why we have a sword on, guys. Dingus's TM, Letters and Arms, boost up your magic by 50%, and it stacks if you have a sword equipped. So that's why we have Freya's Needle on. It gives us a lot of magic, a little bit of attack, but that doesn't matter on our girl, Trance Terra. But that magic and the Letters to Arms is what's going to give her a mad magic stat. It's going to make her super powerful. And in the end, I'm going to give her a 9 out of 10 on Global. She is a very strong mage. She just doesn't get a 10 out of 10 because she doesn't have the elemental chaining ability that she could. But as far as a mage comes, she's the best that you're going to be able to find right now. In Japan, they gave her a 93 out of 100 ranking. And then she's just that naked, purple, waifu girl. She's a badass. You want her. She's floating. She's healing people. She's killing people. You guys really like her. So there we have it, guys. Final Fantasy VI, there it is. I mean, we do have to add in that you can get Kefka and Terra, and they're both pretty good units. So overall, should you pull in this banner? I'm going to say yes. If you don't have Terra, you don't have Kefka, you don't have a really great mage, Trance Terra can do that for you. But Setzer seems like the person to get here. Setzer can unlock a lot of chaining and finishing moves if you don't have a finisher. That will just be very, very good for your team, boost you up, make you be able to maybe beat some things you couldn't in the past, and can prepare you for the future for a little bit of Setzer cheese and a chaining that can help you get past some tough enemies. So if you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up. Comment down below if you're pulling on this banner or what you guys pulled, and then subscribe for future content. We'll catch you guys later.